All right, for the week 12 review video, we're going to look at factoring a polynomial, and we're not going to keep it to any specific type, so we can see any type of factoring here, meaning that we need to start with our greatest common factor, and after we've done that, if possible, we then look and see, does what is remaining, does it have two terms? If it does it meet the difference of two perfect squares, which means the pattern is a perfect square minus a perfect square. We could follow this down, and if we have three terms, then we know we use the box method to be able to think through the process to get our factors. If we take out a greatest common factor and then we have four terms, we use the process of grouping, where we take the four terms, group them into two groups, and take the greatest common factor from each group. We're going to go through and practice these 5 problems. So I would pause the video right now and write down these 5 problems and give yourself enough space. And if you don't already have this flow chart on a note card or on a sheet of paper that you're keeping out while you're doing all these problems, I would write that down also. And then when you've got that ready to go, then go ahead and restart the video. All right, our first problem is 10x squared minus 10. So you're looking at your flow chart, and the first thing you're thinking is, does this have a greatest common factor? And if we look at both of the terms, we should be able to see that the GCF is 10. So I'm going to take and factor a 10 out of each term. And when I do that, it's going to leave me with an x squared minus 1. Now, I need to see if what is written in yellow, what's left in the parentheses, goes any further. So if you think about your flow chart, it starts with greatest common factor, and then we look at the number of terms. And if there are 2 terms, then we look for a difference of 2 perfect squares, which means our pattern is perfect square minus perfect square. And if we look at what we have here, that does fit our pattern. So we have a 10 going to be our greatest common factor. And then if we write out our 2 parentheses, our x squared comes from x times x. And then the negative 1 is a positive 1 times a negative 1. And you can go straight to your answer, or if you would like to, you could take and put the x squared into the box. That's x times x. Put the negative 1 into the box. What do we multiply together to get a negative 1? That's a negative 1 and a positive 1. And you would see this is 1x and negative 1x. And when we combine these like terms here, they'll cancel out. So we would have x squared. The 1x and the negative 1x cancel out. That's gone. And then negative 1. And you could see that one of our factors would be x minus 1. That's what I wrote there. And then the other one of our factors would be x plus 1. So remember, we said that this box is a thinking box. It helps us think through the process. And some people will be able to look at the problem and go straight to the answer, and some people are going to want to use that box to help them out. Okay? Doesn't matter as long as you get to that correct answer. One of our other big things here is that we had a GCF of 10, so do make sure that that GCF shows up in the final answer. All right, let's look at our second problem. Our second problem is 2x squared minus 14x plus 2. So the first thing I'm doing is asking myself, does this have a greatest common factor? And I have a 2, a 14, and a 2. So the greatest common factor is going to be a 2. And I'm going to have a 2 out in front. And that's going to cancel out. And I'm going to be left with then x squared minus 7x plus 1. Now I have to think that I did a greatest common factor, and then I look that I have 1, 2, 3 terms, and if I have 3 terms, then that tells me that I'm going to need to use the blocks. So I'm going to take and draw the box. I'm going to put in what I know for sure, which is x squared is x times x. And then I'm going to put a positive 1 is positive 1. And then the factors of 1 are just 1 times 1. And so if I look at this, 1 times x is x. X times 1 is x. If I leave them positive, I'm going to end up with a 1x. If I take and I make both of them negative, I'm going to end up with a negative 2x. This is going to be a problem that we cannot factor any further. So what that tells me is that if we look at the number 1 here, there's not 2 numbers that are going to multiply to 1. They're going to add to negative 7. So that tells me that this problem was a problem that was a GCF only. And we did those a long time ago, but I want us to remember that there are problems that just have a GCF. And when they do, we check to see if the other pattern holds. Like we checked here to see if the trinomial pattern worked, but it didn't. So our answer is just that it's a greatest common factor of 2, and that's what's left in parentheses. So we need to be careful and be mindful of that there are ones that we just have a GCF in there. That's all. Okay. All right, let's next one. The next one, when we look all the way across, we look for a GCF first. And we have an 8, a 12, a negative 2, and a negative 3. And if we look at that, we're not going to have, we have 3 that are even and this one is not. So we're not going to have a greatest common factor. If you think about our flow chart, the very first thing we check for is a GCF. It may or may not have one. This one does not have one. But then we keep going, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. And when we do 4 terms, we use the process called grouping. And so I'm going to take n, the 8x to the third plus 12x to the second will be one group, and then the negative 2x minus 3 will be another group. I take and split those 2 terms or 4 terms into 2 groups of 2. So now looking at the green group, I want to factor out a GCF. And there's a GCF here between 8 and 12 of 4. But then also between the x to the third and x to the second, there's a GCF of x to the second. So I'm going to have 4x to the second, and then left in the parentheses will be a 2x plus 3. Now, here's what I need to be careful of when I go to start my second group here. See how there's a negative sign here? Then what that tells me is that my greatest common factor of this group has to be negative. And when I look at 2x and 3, the only thing that's common between those two is a 1. So my GCF is going to be a negative 1. So now my parentheses match up, and this one matches this one, and I pull those together, and that becomes part of my answer. And then what happens is that this one and this one are 2 GCFs, create the second factor. Now here's what I need to be careful about that I haven't had to look at before. But now that we're mixing all the different types of factoring together, I have to look at these factors and see if they could factor any further. So this is two terms. Think back to our flow chart for two terms. If we have two terms, our pattern is called a difference of two perfect squares, and what that looks like is a perfect square minus a perfect square. If we look at the first parenthesis, the first factor, 2x plus 3, not a perfect square, not a subtraction sign, not a perfect square. So that is going to be part of my answer. If I look at the second one here, 4x squared is a perfect square. We have a difference, so we have a minus sign, and then we have a 1, which is a perfect square. So what this tells me is that this 2x plus 3 is going to stay as my answer, but then what happens here is this 4x squared becomes 2x times 2x, and this negative 1 becomes positive 1 and negative 1. And so that is going to be our final answer. Now, do you always have to check for that? Here's a little bit of a hint. If you come back up here and you look at our original problem, do you see how our highest exponent, that this was a degree of 3? And when this is a degree of 3, there exists a possibility that we could end up with 1, 2, 3 factors. Now I say a possibility because that's not always the case. It exists that there can be. So we definitely have to make sure that we're checking at the end to see if any of these parentheses can factor further. All right, the next one we have here is 2x squared plus 12x plus 18. And so I'm going to start with looking for a greatest common factor, and it is 2. So I'm going to take a 2 out of each one of those. And then I'm going to look at what's left inside the parentheses, what I have in blue. And I already did the GCF. And so now what's in blue is 3 terms. And so 3 terms, I'm going to try the box. I'm going to knock in or lock in what I know. I know that x squared must come from x times x. And then if I look at my constant here is a positive value. And so I know that it's either going to be 2 positives or 2 negatives. And then when I look over here, it tells me it's going to be 2 positives. And I have the choice when I look at 9 if it's going to be 1 and 9 or 3 and 3. And I look at this middle term, and the middle term is 6. And that tells me that I'm going to use 3 and 3. So that 3 times x is 3x, and x times 3 is 3x. And when I go to combine my like terms here, that 3x and 3x will give me 6x. So my answer will be that I have this right here, x plus 3, and this right here, x plus 3. Now another way to write that, since we have 2 of these, would be x plus 3 quantity squared. Now, what did I forget? What do I need to add to it? We had a GCF. And so that GCF must always come in front of our other factors. And so there our answer. That is just 2 different ways of writing the same answer. You don't have to write it down twice, but we just have to know that those are equivalent answers. All right, our last problem here. If we look at this, we're going to have a GCF. Between 9, 6, and 3, the GCF is going to be 3. Okay, so we did a GCF, and then I follow this down. There are 3 terms. So I'm going to go ahead and get the box ready. Let me lock in what I know. 3x squared can only come from 3x and x. And then I know that 1 can only come from 1 times 1. But I do notice that this is a negative 1 here as my constant. And so that tells me I'm going to need 1 positive and 1 negative in my parentheses. And they need to be able to make out a middle term of negative 2. So if I take and put a positive here and a negative here, then I would say that x times a negative 1 is negative 1x. And 1 times 3x is 3x. And when I go to combine those, what happens is I would get a positive 2, and I want a negative 2. And so what that tells me is that what I need to adjust are the signs. I need to take and put the negative sign here and the positive sign here, so that negative 1 times 3x would be negative 3x, and x times 1 would be positive 1x. And what would happen then is when I combine these like terms, I'm going to get a negative 2x. And so then my factors for this would be x minus 1 and 3x plus 1. And then I took out a GCF, so I've got to remember not to forget that. Put that GCF of 2 there. And there's my answer.